Hey guys, welcome back to Basic Corrupt. I'm Steven. As you can tell, we're currently driving and on our way to Kingsport, Tennessee. Many of y'all may know the case with Layla Santanello. She's been missing for quite some time now. Her mother, Jennifer, reached out to me a couple of days ago, asked if I would come with my boat to Kingsport and actually drag the dam to try to help see if we could find her in the water over there. So we're en route, and I'll actually show y'all around on the way there and let you see kind of the scenic side of Tennessee. And then when we get there, we'll explain everything and how everything's going to go. Hey guys, so we've made it here to Warrior State Park in Kingsport, Tennessee. Now this is one of the said locations, the possibility of Layla Santanello being in the water here up by the dam. Now speaking to Jen this morning, we had every attempt to come out here, drag the lake, and we was made aware that that's not going to happen, given we gotten weird text messages, which seem to be the kind of thing surrounding Layla, right? And Jen, no shit, runs into roadblocks 24/7. Now, mind you, this text would come from somebody in our left field saying that Detective Claire is going to arrest you if you show up there trying to search. Now, mind you, little do they know, I'll just call people. So guess who called Detective Claire on the way up here? Yep, that's me. I talked to Claire and he said, hey man, look, as long as it ain't a restricted zone, you're good to go. Your search has nothing to do with me. You know, just laid it out there. It's plain and simple. It's like, if I'm out here doing this, this is what I'm doing. He's not a part of this program, and I get it, man. He's law enforcement. At the end of the day, I'm coming from 4 hours away to try to help assist a grieving mother, and I mean grieving. She's in the process. It's a year later, man. I mean, or well, over a year. June 27th, 2023. That's a long time to wait for answers, if you ask me. She don't deserve that. Layla deserves justice. We've got to get and bring her home. And the thing that kills me is that with a lot of missing cases, they do tend to be pushed to the side and forgotten about. So we're here today and we're going to make it happen. I hope you stick around. We're going to get on the water and we'll see what we can find. Hey guys, so this is the actual lake part where the dam is. We actually made our start right here. We got to speak with Jen. She was just standing right there. So a dam flows, it's like a smaller dam for a small community. Obviously houses the power for Kingsport, but what I can say is about a month ago, the big storms come through, so there's a lot of debris, a lot of trash at the bottom of this. I truly do think we scanned everything from upside of that, going up all the way around, what you're seeing right here, into that little culvert, even probably right in that area. And what we noticed is it was fairly clean for a lot of trees. I do think that if Layla was in the water, truthfully, in this general area, it probably would have brought her a little higher up, given the amount of water that was here. I mean, you could see the actual water line on the trees here, and it got up, I mean, right there on the flood stage, which is, I would say, about 12, 14 feet higher than what, we're sitting at right now, which is kind of crazy to think about. So probably a little bit above where that lower rock is on that tree, and that's where I would say. But what we're fixing to do is jet back. I'm morally not understanding, I guess, the theory behind maybe her being here, but I do understand why. It is very secluded. It's out in the middle of nowhere. Beautiful area. Very beautiful area. It's something that you kind of see once in a lifetime, especially being in the mountains. We have a place close to home called Del Hollow. It kind of similar as it. But yeah, man, I just wanted to show y'all around real quick. And again, I'll make a video, just on an outro about, our little trip. I'll keep filming some stuff here and there, man. But we'll be back. So you're probably asking yourself, Steven, how in the heck did we get to this point? Why is it morning and you're in a hotel? Well, that's because yesterday was a very long day. Productive day, but long, man. As y'all seen with the GoPro, that lake area was just beautiful. It's probably one of the most beautiful lakes I've personally seen, get to take in. The situation on being there, it's a horrible situation, right? Nobody wants to be there for that reason. But I can tell you this, the water was super crystal clear. It's like an old flooded town. It's wild what you will see on sonar, especially in that water. That's some really neat images I'll insert here of kind of the dam and what it looks like on sonar. What I also thought was a little different is given the recent floods that had happened. You probably heard me talking about that in the GoPro, which is, it's unreal to think how all that stuff didn't just push through that dam. I can't make it make sense. I mean, that dam, I get they're structurally held, but when you see the amount of debris at the bottom of this, it's going to take a while to clean all that up, and it could cause some major issues in that dam, if you ask me. I mean, dude, there's whole logs down there the size of trucks, and it's perplexed me, to be honest. And then we had a little bit of a scare on that back side over there in the corner. As if you was coming into the dam, it'd be to your left. Dude, there was something that looked very fishy. Ended up being like a boulder or a rock with two logs that were adjacent to each other. So at the top, they cross-intersected. But because the boulder reflected louder than the damn wood did, all it looked like was a bulged belly with legs. And it goes to show you, though, I mean, you got to really look at this for what it is. I mean, you can't just jump on the assumption, oh, it's a body. You know, it's better to be safe than sorry. I'll agree with that. I think a lot of it's coming from, you know, learned the lessons and doing this a while now, that I won't make that call like that unless I know absolutely for sure. Manskir's a different story. You know, I'm going to bring it up. I don't care what anybody says. That was definitely a body. But we progressed to today, right? So today's big plan, go out, map a bunch of areas that she needs mapped, get them on the program, and hopefully from there we can see, you know, a little bit more detail. What worries me is that she is fairly close, and I think as a parent, it breaks my heart for, you know, Jen and Layla. I mean, given that she's been here the whole time, and you have a town that's very tight-lipped. Kingsport, if you ask me, is very corrupt. And I mean that. I hate to say that. Yeah, and it's nothing to the detective here, Detective Claire. I got to talk to him. I think a lot of it's coming from there is a lot of like trafficking, a lot of drugs here, and they don't want that to get out. And I don't understand why. It's like maybe there needs to be some kind of federal help come in. I don't know. But when I tell you, driving in this town, you can feel it. Oh, you absolutely can feel it, man. You see it. It's everywhere. A lot of it looks like probably Morley meth, something like that, Morley fentanyl. You don't see a lot of heroin anymore because of the fentanyl rave and the overtake with that, which is really sad. But again, you know, we're going to run out to a few places, try to see what we can do for Jen, give her some aerial coverage, and hopefully get some good data back to her. So I'll see you shortly in a few when we get some cool things to show you.
So you're probably asking yourself, Steven, what in the world are you doing back home? Yeah, I know. I made it back here, and I know that the drone footage part of this, usually how it goes, was very short. And that's because I got pictures and I was doing a mission flight to map some areas, and whatever happened, I can't explain this. All I know is that on my remote, up in the top left, it said RC wireless interference. I couldn't do nothing. Drone fell from 90 meters, hit the ground, shattered.
There goes a $6,500 drone out the window. Thank God for MavCare. They're really going to hate me. And thanks to whoever RC jammed my controller.
Thankfully, I got DJI, and insurance. And DJI, if you have them, they have a phenomenal plan. You have to pay for it when you buy the drone, but they do 2 replacements. And then, honestly, I'm very thankful for it because, holy crap, dealing with insurance and everything else would have been a pain in the butt. What I'll say, though, on the outro of this video is very important. I don't think that we just have to focus on Layla here. Layla is a big case. A lot of criminal investigation going on due to, things that I can't talk about, but what I will say, very known issues around that town. People know what happened. It's horrible for me to watch Jen grieve, because that's what it is. And to see a ugly side of things. I mean, hell, even going, while on the way there, I got a phone call and a text message saying, hey, Detective Claire is going to arrest anybody that shows up. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, he's going to arrest anybody, interfering or trying to search. And I'm like, that don't make no sense. Little do they know, I would just call Detective Claire. And that's what I've done. Clarified things. He said, no, it has nothing to do with searching. It has to do everything with somebody coming in. And honestly, do I think that the bear's nest, it need to be poked. But you also, if you're not an investigator, you can't be poking and prying in an active criminal investigation that the state and the city are involved with. If that makes sense. Like, that's literally impeding on an investigation. So it was said to certain individuals, like, hey, stop doing that. If you don't stop doing that, blah, blah, blah. But neither here nor there. The thing that bothers me most, though, is Holland Snap. Why are we not talking about this young woman? Given everything we know with Layla's case, and the eerie similarity of disappearance with Holland Snap. And we talk about Layla, and I'm absolutely there to obviously do whatever Jen needs me to do, but I've got to make just a very clear stand to say, hey man, we have a huge issue at hand here, and that's being that Layla's case is out there in the forefront, and I feel that it's only right, being it's Kingsport and Sullivan County, that we bring Holland Snap's case to the forefront, given the time frame again. And, I'm going to do whatever I can to advocate to ensure, that I can help the best way I can, whether it's drone mapping, GPR, ground penetrating radar, whatever, to try to get her answers also. Steve is working on that case. He's actually got the whole case, and talking to Steve, he let me know some information, and I can tell you it's disturbing to know there's no movement. And the fact that they have what I would say, suspects and good, credible information. Why aren't these people behind bars? Or why aren't we forcing them? And maybe there's more to that, right? As I dig into Holland stuff, I'm sure I'll uncover a lot, and talking to Steve. And again, I can't say how I'm super just privileged to be able to work with somebody like Steve. I think at the end of it, man, I'm just morally in awe of the amount of people missing in Kingsport. I mean, dude, there's a man that's been missing for years and nobody's talked about him. And, Holland's mother's one that made me aware of this, that, nobody advocated. Nobody's doing nothing. And it sounds like to me that Kingsport has a serious issue, and it's with their KPD and, the sheriff's department. They have good detectives, but either it's a funding issue. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to tell you, a lot of y'all are going to think I'm crazy, and I know Bullhorn Betty and me, we butt heads. We it's a common thing. We don't like each other. It is what it is. But what I will tell you is she has advocated and said the same thing about, what's going on over there. It's very strange. And I know y'all are going to be like, holy shit, did Steven just say that? But in reality, I mean, there's no lies to that. I mean, what's going on over there is very, I don't know how to explain it. It's eerie. You go in this little town, and it's like a little coal mountain town almost. And I don't know. It's not that I don't think they care. I really just think that you have a city that has outgrown their department. They aren't utilizing what they do have in a way that is, proficient or sufficient for them. and it's causing a lot of issues. I mean, look up the data with human trafficking, look up the data with drugs and overdoses in Kingsport, Tennessee, and you will see it's off the charts. Now, if that's the case, then that means something's not right, right? And now, I mean, it's like crime is everywhere. I get that. Crime is everywhere. But what I'm trying to tell you, what you need to understand here is that there is a bigger issue at play. And it's that these departments are understaffed or generally just don't have the means to be able to investigate something of these magnitudes. And if that's the case, why not hand everything over to the TDI? Let a department that can absolutely handle this take over. And that's just me. And I know there's a way you have to do that too. But anyways, guys, until next time, like, share, subscribe, do all that fun shit. Peace.